the Supreme Elhain fusion is coming to an end. So the question of, is she worth fusing? Is she not worth fusing? Is she good? Is she bad? Does not matter anymore. What I'm going to give you guys here today is going to be the perfect build for Supreme Elhain. If you have her, this is how you want to build her. So let's dive straight into it. What up team, it is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video talking about the Fragment Fusion Supreme Elhain. We have a Void Champion, legendary attack from the High Elves, and listen, she's a Void Nuker, right? She is a Void Nuking Champion. It can be good for a lot of accounts. Like I said, we're not here to talk about that. We want to talk about how to build this champion. So, very quick brush through her skills here. Ignores buffs, extra turn, okay, attacks all enemies, damage increases for each debuff on the target, fine. Passive, immune to decrease attack, 20% more damage against targets whose attack is lower than this champion's, fine. Attacks one enemy twice, each hit transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target. So, what do we see so far? No accuracy needed. So, full send on damage starting with the banner. We always start with the banner, you know that. Attack, attack. Where are my attack banners? We have one with speed and attack percentage here. The other one is garbage. As you can see, there aren't many attack nukers in the game for the High Elf faction, so I am guilty of slacking gear quality wise here for sure. So this is the best I could do. As far as the speed goes, there's going to be two different types of build. I'm only going to build one, but I'm going to talk about the other build as it's happening. There's only really two things to keep in mind. One's going to be the banner. The second are going to be the boots. So I'm going to skip talking about the banner for now, because everything can pretty much be narrowed down to talking about the boots here. Next, for the necklace, easy crit damage, as much attack as we could possibly get here. What do we got? Single attack, quad HP for sure if I needed survivability, triple accuracy, don't need it. Where are my attack? No attack. No, okay, so one attack here, one attack there, there's 44 there, 44 here, 56 with the glyph. We're going to take the one with the glyph because we can. Wow, my gear is slacking in this department for sure. Next thing that we have is going to be attack with attack percent on the ring here. Again, what am I doing? Oh, did I hit equipped in the last? I probably didn't. Oh well. So we have double attack. I'm assuming Basilius Rowanus has my best gear. Can anyone confirm? Arbiter, what the hell are you doing with this 5-star ring on? These are questions that I have to ask myself all the time. So we have a double attack ring. Like I said, attack base with attack percentage, as many rolls as possible. You don't want to worry too much about defensiveness and survivability, all that good stuff, because it's going to be key to surround this champion with defensive options, right? Which is going to be hard because she gets an extra turn. So if the enemy is going to get a turn, if you have reaction gear, highly recommend get reaction on this champion. It's going to help a ton. As far as buffs go, this is where you're going to burn through buffs quickly because of that A3 interaction with the extra turn. Now moving on to the gear, we're going to start with the boots. I mentioned the boots before. If you're more of an endgame player, which means like high gold 4, platinum consistently, you're going to click the attack percent button. That's what you're going to click. Now the gear sets you want to use: crit damage, cruel, savage, instinct, lethal, all of that good stuff. Sets you don't want: crit rate, endgame, right? If you're early game, you can use any damaging set you want or any sets you want with the right stats being damage dealing stats. So I'll give you the rundown afterwards, but for endgame, the best you could possibly do are the ones I mentioned already. Don't think I missed anything. I did not. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go with a typical savage, cruel breakdown. Like I said, if you want to swap this with instinct, lethal, crit damage, whatever else I said, I already forgot it. You can do that for sure. But attack percent boots here, if you're endgame. If you're not endgame, what are you going to do? Speed. Speed. It's not speed because I have attack percent checked. Thank you, viewer, that I can't interact with currently, for reminding me. I appreciate you greatly. So back to Savage. Like I said, if you are not endgame, you want speed for sure, because speed tuning is going to matter more for someone that isn't endgame. It's going to help you out overall. So you go with speed like this. If you're not in the endgame, if you are in the endgame, you're going to swap it to full on attack. So for the purpose of this video, we are going to be building full on attack. We don't care about speed at all because it's currently a slow damage dealing meta. So the best boots I have currently that fit this champion are going to be these. Beautiful. Next, we're going to go with the chest piece. What do we want? You guys already guessed it. Attack percent on the chest. Crit rate if we can get it. Crit rate there. Crit rate there. What do we want? Something empowered. Probably defense. Don't need it. Okay, so we're going to go with this one for now. We get one more crit rate where we get some speed. I'm going to hold off on this one for now. 1% crit rate 65. We don't have masteries. Keep that in mind, MurderInc. Thanks, MurderInc, for reminding me. I'm talking to myself. I get it. Okay, so gloves. What do we want for gloves? Your typical hardest piece to get in any account. I already know it. You don't have to say a word. Crit damage with crit rate and attack percent. It took me forever to get this gear. Forever. Cannot stress forever enough here. So we're going to use this one because I know this is good. Now we have the top row to finish things off here. As far as the search options go, crit rate, attack percent, speed. If you're early game, if you're not early game, you keep speed deselected for sure here. So the first piece, this is a good start. What about this one? Less crit rate. We don't want to do that because we already sacrificed quite a bit crit rate already. Now we need a helmet. Helmet. We want the attack's looking really strong. And the next two pieces have to be, let's just see what we got here. We got to get rid of attack percent for the shield for sure. The next two pieces have to be cruel. So let's see. Triple crit damage. Wow. We're pumping here. But we're short on crit rate. We get 5% for masteries, which is okay. But it's just not enough. 7% is a little bit too much. 5% is quite literally perfect. Okay, so here we are. Supreme Elhain. Savage gear. We're really missing a lot of attack because my accessories are terrible. Terrible for the high elves, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and equip this. Moving on to the masteries. What are we doing for masteries here? This should be the same for pretty much all players. We're going to do the zigzag special because that's exactly what it looks like. This is the breakdown I've been using forever here. Is there a better one? Maybe. Maybe there's a better one. I've just been using it with great success forever. I've never seen... I mean, there are niche situations if you have someone like Sheild or guaranteed Astralon, guaranteed stun champion, you're going to use Opportunist. You're just going to. But if you can't get that extra damage and the fact that this champion's pretty much a Necrit killer who provides block debuffs on himself that's protected, you're not going to be able to stun them anyways, so I don't know. But you can definitely get tons of value out of Opportunist for sure. Using a Gerp Tuck, you would take Stoke to Fury, but we're going to go with the more traditional layouts for sure here. So Resurgent, into Delayed Death, into Retribution, and done. This way we have maximum damage. If you wanted to gamble, you can gamble. If you... Bolster gear is very common, so again, if you want to drop Heart of Glory, you can absolutely take Shield Breaker. Keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this. I know it's been covered in the past, but it's been quite a long time. Maybe I'll make a separate video on this. Shield Breaker only increases the damage on the shield. So if a champion is wearing, let's say, Bolster set, and they have 50,000 health, and Elhain does damage, you get 25% bonus damage up to 50,000, then it's over. Then it just does normal damage without this multiplier. So keep that in mind because that's very important here. If it didn't work that way, shield sets would be dead. You would be hitting champions so hard they would fall over. But thankfully it's not the case. So good job, Plarium. You did something right for once. So this is the build I would recommend for sure for this champion here. And then you, my friends, are good to go with the perfect Supreme Elhain build. Whether it's nuking waves, are you going to be nuking waves with this? Maybe. Hard to say. You definitely can. Doom Tower, there are quite a few waves that, in my mind, I can already think about where she's going to have a lot of potential for sure here. The fact that she's immune to decreased attack is good. Why is it good? Because we are talking about none other than Ultimate Death Knight. Why Ultimate Death Knight? Great question. Attacks all enemies, has an 80 up to 100% chance of placing decreased attack, fearing legendary champions. So, bye-bye, right? Just bye-bye. You don't have to worry about decreased attack anymore, because 50% decreased attack, I'm sure you've noticed this if you've played Arena at all in this game, it lowers your damage significantly if it's an attack-based champion. As far as booking value on this champion, as I say in most of my videos, and if you've been watching, you know this point very well by now, damage dealers are favored heavily over survivability champions, support champions, whatever you want to call them, in the game Raid Shadow Legends, right? If you have an equally geared damage dealer and an equally geared support champion, who is always going to win? The damage dealing champion. Why is that? Because attack champions scale way better than defense support based champions. It is what it is. There are some OP passives for sure. Yes, but it's way too easy to build a nuker to one-shot anything in the game. That's why you need teams of synergy and 4 champions to stand a chance against one nuker. Just think about that. That's the way it works. So do you have to book this champion? No. If you want to be really competitive with this champion, you would book her for sure. Simply for, you may not be able to finish the job. I mean, if you want to speed farm, you only have to book the damage, you don't have to book the cooldown. But if you're not going to be speed farming and you have to use abilities more than once, then of course you have to book the cooldown on this. So keep in mind, too bad we cannot pick where the books go. Plarium, what a great quality of life you could surprise us with this year if you let us pick what skills and what books go into what champions. That would solve the book problem. You don't have to release another bit of content that gives books to players. If you just let us pick where the books go, it's going to ease the stress on players for sure. I'm sure everyone watching will of course agree with that statement. Just let us pick where it goes, because having a billion books in an A1 on all of these great champions that have A2, A3, or A4 skills, and including passives that have books that go into them with very strong abilities, it sucks as a player to see the books go into A1 over and over and over again when it's so hard to get your hands on legendary books unless you're swiping. So that is going to be the build guide for this. As far as where to use this, I already did a video on this champion. I talked about the pros, the cons of this. For endgame, this champion is already showing some very, very promising results in the arena. So that is one thing I want to talk about for sure. I'm not going to show it here today because more data is needed, and I'm not going to show something that may not pay out. I don't want to bait anybody into thinking certain comps are way better than others. Need more testing. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. You already know who is, but if that does prove true, we're going to make a video on Supreme Elhain, who she counters, what she counters in this current meta. Like I said, there are some pretty strong teams that are being formulated in my clan, at least. I'm sure in other clans as well, as how well this champion works. So if it does end up paying off, I'm excited to show you guys that if you skip this champion, don't freak out. It's literally a very, very endgame thing with Supreme Elhain as far as countering certain champions, with what she can do, the extra turn, the A2 ability, all of that good stuff. So excited to go over that if things work out, because it is looking pretty damn cool. And that's going to conclude this video on the perfect build, the perfect masteries, talking about her books a little bit and all of that good stuff. Did you use her? If you did, where did you intend to use her, and where are you going to use her now that you have this champion? These are the things that I need to know, so I know where you as the viewer are using these fusions that come up. Or did you just skip her and say whatever, Void Champion, Supreme Elhain, disappointed in the kit? Who wouldn't be? If they had Supreme, been advocating for everyone to go after the champion because he looks cool. He's the face of Raid and his kit's really strong. So that's going to conclude this video. Support the channel, like the video, comment, subscribe, turn the bell for the notifications so you're notified the next time I upload a video, and I will see you all in my next upload.